Hello, my little Nimers. It is me, Queen Nimer, and I'm going to continue the story. I know it's past Halloween, but I still want to celebrate it because I didn't get to celebrate it this year because it was with my dad. But maybe next year. Thank you guys for being great people and staying by my side. I know it's difficult with school and whatever, but I want to spend this time with you because you guys are amazing. Is this the one, is it? Yes. Really, Potter? Monday. Draco was dreading going into the Great Hall because he knew Potter will pull him out and talk about dancing. Get up! Blaze screamed against, almost tearing down the curtains in Draco's bed. There's something that's on my screen, and it's not going away. Shame. Okay. You don't want to be late for your first dance lesson with Potter, he said casually, winking and yanking Draco's leg out of bed until he fell on the floor. Damn, Zabini! Why can't I say his name really fast? Zabini! You didn't need to literally pull me out of bed. Draco sat up, punching him on his thigh. Haha, see you in the Great Hall, unless you're pulled over by Saint Potter. I don't know why they spell it like that sometimes. T-H-T-A-H. Potter. Ta-ta-ta. He said mockingly, walking over to exit the dorm. That was one time. What am I going to do with that boy, honestly? Draco sat up and got his Slytherin robes kill me, robes on and headed down to the Great Hall. Just as expected, Potter was there with Granger. Hi, Malfoy. He looked over to Hermione to see what her reaction was. But the goof friend he didn't mind. So I'm not entirely sure what time after lessons. See you then. And walked into the Great Hall to have breakfast. Well, you got Malfoy to go to dance practice, Hermione said, looking to see when Draco was far enough to not hear. Yeah, I'm not sure he's buying it, but if I go to the dance practice and he finds out that I can't dance, his voice going into a whisper when he said he can't dance. Harry, you're overthinking it. Besides, you need to focus on more than one task. More on the tasks. Do you know what the first task is yet? I've been asking around. Nobody knows anything. Have you asked Victor Crumb? He would probably know. Victor always knows. He probably knows the second task. And yes. Hermione, look. I will ask Cedric about this, okay? If that's what you want. I'm not asking Crumb, Harry said, interrupting Hermione and her little crush on Crumb. That's right, she had a crush on Crumb for a little bit. Oh, thank you, Harry, she said, pulling him into a tight hug. We should probably get going to our first lesson, she said, leading him to charms. But we still have ages. I don't want to go to lessons now. You can never be too early. Harry looked over his shoulder to see Draco before he left. He looks so broken. Wait, it's not like I care, right? I mean, it's a Malfoy, and I'm a Potter. He's a slimy git. After lessons, Draco started walking to dance practice with Potter, leaving Theo to walk on his own. Once he finally made it and walked inside, who else would be there to teach this than Professor Binns? Draco hated Binns. Since when could he dance? Probably McGonagall's with that scumbag teaching him to dance. Yuck. Hey, Draco. Draco looked over to see Potter walking over to him. It's starting soon. I didn't think you would make it, he said, looking down slightly. Yeah, well, I'm here. When does it start? Draco reassured the smaller boy. Harry got cut off by McGonagall. Welcome, student, to dance practice. For those of you who have not a lot of experience dancing, my dance partner is Professor Binns. As you can see now, step close to your partner and put both your hands around their waist, like this. Wait, we're going into closely slow dancing? Where's the saying where leave room for the Holy Spirit? That's still a saying, right? Like the nice shoulder length apart, leave room for the Holy Spirit. Has no one heard that before? I know, like, it's been said in movies and such, but okay, whatever. McGonagall said, taking Bin's hand and placing it on her waist. Harry looked at Draco, who was turning slightly red. Draco stepped closer to Harry and slowly placed his hands on his waist, keeping his eyes focused on his hands, refusing to look at Harry. Harry jumped to see Draco holding his waist and looked at Draco's burning red-hot face. Now, the other partner, the female of the pairs, unless you are, well, both male, the more feminine one, she said, correcting herself, while looking at Draco and Harry, will place both hands on the shoulders like this, placing her hands on Bin's shoulders. Harry looked up at Draco, and to his surprise, Draco was looking back at him. He lifted his arm, put up to the taller boy, and held on to him, stepping closer. They were so close to each other that they could almost touch lips. Ooh! Leave room for the Holy Spirit. Oh, man. Why do I sound like my mother? That's disgusting. Harry was just observing Draco's face when he moved, pulling Harry with him. You do know how to dance, right? He said, raising an eyebrow. Why do you ask? Of course I can dance, he said, smiling awkwardly. You don't seem very interactive, and kind of stumbled on the first step. You know what you're doing, he said, his eyebrows raising higher. Yeah, he lied. He had no idea what he was doing. Right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, McGonagall said to keep the students in time. Draco was making a small box with his feet, while Harry he was stepping anywhere and kept stepping on Draco's feet. My feet. You know what? My feet are really cold right now, so don't touch my feet. Actually, I need someone to step on my foot. That's a weird thing to say. Draco was making a small box with the... Oh, I thought you said you could dance, he whispered angrily, looking at Draco's feet and backing up to look at him. I may have sorta, kinda... Whoa, wait, you can't dance? He whispered, getting more frustrated. Harry leaned in closer to his ear. Shh, please don't be mad, I'm sorry, he said, still stepping everywhere. Really, Potter, you know what? Fine, look here. Draco straightened up, showing him to make a box with his feet. Harry observed Draco's pattern and soon enough copied him. See, you're getting it, he smiled, looking at Harry, who looked at him, smiling gently. Thanks for teaching me, he whispered, putting his head under Draco's chin. It's no problem. Draco himself go red to feel Harry's soft, crazy hair on his chin, and rested his head on the small boy. Draco slowly wrapped his arms tighter around Harry to avoid either side of him. to hold either side of him. Harry noticed and pushed his hands further up Draco's shoulders, up Draco's shoulders, getting closer to him. He felt safe, but strange at the same time. He had been his nemesis for so long. I don't know why I stopped. Nemesis for so long, and now they're dancing together, and let me redo the line. He had been his nemesis for so long, and now they were dancing together, and their arms wrapped around each other. Draco, though the same, but let it slip. He liked it. Draco thought the same, but let it slip. He liked it. Okay, students, today's lesson is over. We will move on to the more dancing techniques next lesson, she said, dismissing everyone. Harry and Draco separated, collecting their things and leaving. So I guess the real reason why we came to these lessons is to teach you how to dance. Draco gave a bored look at Harry. Hey, I know how to dance, Malfoy. It's just that... Malfoy? Seriously? Draco interrupted. What? I'm not offended or question why you still call me Potter, Harry said, getting a little frustrated. Draco just looked at him with cheeks drained of color, waiting for either of them to break the awkward silence. Exactly, that's what I thought, Harry said, turning away to his common room, thinking that Draco might have said wait, but didn't. Draco was standing outside the practice rooms when Harry looked in the upcoming windows, reflecting until he couldn't see him anymore. Windows reflection until he couldn't see him anymore. Why did I care when he called me by my surname? Draco questioned himself over and over before coming back to reality and realized that he was still stood outside the classroom and Harry had walked away. Damn you, Potter! Why did you go? Ugh, whatever. Like I care. Author's note. Quick reminder. I don't mind my spelling. I type really quick. And I don't realize when I take the screenshots. So I saw that I said goof instead of good. So I just keep that in mind. Wait, when did that happen? Maybe I just said good instead. I'm gonna kill someone. Please help me. Go away. Thank you. Go away. Ginny Weasley. Oh. The following morning, Harry woke up early to visit Ron and Hermione skipping breakfast. He thought he didn't spend that long with them yesterday. He would make up for it and see if they have improved. I hope they will wake up soon. Wait a minute. Wasn't she awake in here? Yeah, she was. This is not making sense now. Hold up. Anyways, I hope that they will wake up soon. I'm pretty lonely without them. Neville isn't interesting in a lot of subjects, unless it's plants. Seamus. I tried saying Seamus to my dad, and he said Seamus, and he's the one who read the books. But whatever. Seamus and Dean constantly hang out with since they're dating. I guess I could see Ginny after she confessed to me. It kind of separated us. Yeah, I will hang out with Ginny until they wake up. Probably we could try being more than friends. Who knows, right? Let's go find Ron and Hermione. Once Harry got to the hospital wing, he slowed down to open the huge, heavy door, but stopped because he heard someone crying. I couldn't It couldn't have been Ron and Hermione. They were still asleep. Should I go? Harry thought, but didn't, being a curious Gryffindor. That's why people die in horror movies. Damn. If you hear a person crying in a hospital, what do you do? And no one's around. What the fuck do you do? Do you run? That would be me. And get someone to come with me. That's what I would do. Ginny! Harry yelled, opening the door to find Ginny Weasley sitting on a bed with a younger Raven girl lying on the bed. She looked up with bloodshot eyes, tried to cry. What happened? Are you okay? Harry asked, rushing over to her, holding her hand. Harry! It's my best friend. Madame Pomfrey said she doesn't... Before bursting into tears and hugging her tightly. Doesn't what? He whispered gently, hugging the younger girl. Oh, sorry, I'm so into this. Younger girl back. Ginny sniffed, trying to calm down. She doesn't, she sighed, calming herself down slightly. Doesn't think she can make it. Before going back into crying her eyes out, soaking Harry's robes. Ew. Sorry. That's gotta be cold. Warm and then it gets cold. Ugh. Harry asked, still knowing he was only there to see Ron and her. Wait. Oh, Ginny, he said sympathetically, squeezing her reassuringly. Do you want to do something before class starts to take your mind off this? Harry asked, still knowing he was only there for Ron and Hermione. Thanks, Harry. I would love to, she said, still sniffing. Sniffing. Like that. While grabbing a nearby tissue. Okay, we still have... Harry looked over to the huge clock on the door. 2.5 hours until class. Jeez. Lucky. Sorry. 2.5 hours before class starts. What about you? Harry said he had so much time because he has a free period. Oh, let's see. And woke up early. Same here, she said, wiping her eyes on the tissue. All right, then. We can go to Hagrid's. Or the Black Lake. What? How dare you, Ginny? I'm sorry, I looked ahead. Harry said, taking her hand and walking towards the door. I'm not going to Hagrid's. He lives in a hut. Sorry, that's too dirty. Says all the Weasley children. There's in the Cards Against Muggles, there's one that says, bathing all the Weasley children. I'm like, that must be a dirty job. Ginny said, leading the way. Also, looking like she forgot what she about her soon going to be a dead friend. Wow, but a bit suspicious, or she didn't care about her friend. Oh well, Hagrid is a very nice person. Well, when you get to know him. No, I said no. Ginny snapped, interrupting him. I have the perfect place. Follow me, she giggled, while skipping slightly. Harry being dragged along, falling deeper into what he thought love. Ugh. I'm sorry, I never liked Ginny no matter what. It's not like, I like Ginny with, like, when she's a lesbian. But I never thought that Ginny and Harry Potter were a good match. I don't know what it is. It's just never sat right with me. It's not that I thought Harry Potter was good with Draco. It's just I never thought they were a good pair. But anyways, that's my opinion. You can open your eyes now. Oh my gosh, this reminds me of that scene where she's like, close your eyes. She just backs away slowly. She said it in a sing-song voice. Harry opened his eyes slowly to see a flaming red trees with orange highlights, bushy leaves covering most of the sky. But if you looked right down the end, you could see blended morning sky of orange, yellow, and blue, which fitted in with its surroundings. A royal red fox rustling across the yellowish-leaved ground until transforming into a neon orange rabbit. The morning sun shining through the tree gave a red glowing effect, blinding Harry to come back to reality. "Ginny," Harry whispered, looking around still. It's He looked at her, and she was holding one arm to show vulnerability. "Beautiful," he said, with tears of joy in his eyes. "How ever did you find this place?" he said, still looking around in amazement. "My friend showed me this place," she said, placing one foot in front of the other and twisting it the spot, lifting the heel of her foot upward. "You okay?" Harry noticed Ginny's nervousness and stepping towards her. Oh, yeah, I'm fine," she automatically shoving her hand in her pocket to look for something. Harry didn't take much notice of it and walked closer. "Ginny, you know you can tell me anything. I won't judge. Please?" Harry said, picking up her hand and squeezing it. "I'm sorry, Harry," she said, slowly pulling out her hand and holding it behind her back. Harry noticed something intriguing. "About what?" he said, trying to look over her shoulder. For this, she pulled out her hand from behind her back and quickly shoved it into Harry's mouth, covering him from screaming and slowly falling asleep. "Now it will be just you and me. No Malfoy. Just you and me, like it used to be. We will be in love forever. I love you, Harry." Oh, Yandere Simulator. They should make a Harry Potter themed Yandere Simulator. I would pay to see that. Draco was in potion, staring at Snape blabbering on about the small things people miss while making potions, until Harry came bursting in through the doors with messy hair as usual, but it was extremely messy, like he'd been through bushes backwards. His robes were scruffy as well, but something felt off about him. To Draco and decided to stick his nose in it. "Potter, why are you late?" Snape screamed at Harry, while Harry sat down in his seat next to Draco. "I lost track of time, Professor," Harry said, with no emotion in his voice, or stuttering, like he would when he would encounter Snape. 50 points. No excuses." Snape cursed and waved his wand to shut the doors Harry left open. "Anyway, like I was saying," Snape continued talking. Potter! Jacob whispered angrily. No answer. "Harry!" he whispered, looking at him anxiously. "What?" said Harry, realizing it was Malfoy. "Malfoy, I don't have time for you. Leave me alone," Harry said, frowning and giving him a dirty look. "I beg your pardon, Potter. For your information, I may have been a little selfish yesterday, but I'm over it and wanted to apologize. Not to get into another argument," Draco whispered furiously, while looking back and forth to Snape and Harry. "I don't care what you have to say to me. I have a girlfriend. I love her very much, so stay out of it. I'm dancing with her, not filth like you." Oh, such a burn. What the fuck? He's such a savage when he's, like, supposedly in love. This isn't right. Draco, find the antidote, please. Harry spat while looking at Snape and back to the blonde. Okay, ouch. But I didn't ask if you had a girlfriend, and frankly, I don't care. Draco said, but did care that he had a girlfriend, and feeling in his heart ached slightly. Don't care, Malfoy. Leave me alone, Harry spat, looking over to Snape. That's it, Potter. My head. Doing my, Potter. That's it. Potter's doing my head in now. He looked at Harry and noticed his eyes. Potter has green eyes. But they're black. Oh, no. This can't be happening. I need to tell Snape. I knew something was off. He acted so differently and nasty. I bet this person is the same one who did with Weasley and Granger. I need to tell Snape after class. Draco was on his way from Charms to find Snape. When he came to a sudden stop, his heart stopped beating for a minute. He felt like he had just been stabbed in the chest. His heart had just been pulled out. This was the worst pain he had ever felt. I literally just wanted to puke. Oh, this is going to be hard to read. What is this? Why am I feeling like this? It hurts. Stop. No, I'm not crying. Malfoy's, don't cry. Stop it. It hurts. No. What's happening to me? Draco turned on his heel, about to cry his eyes out, and ran into the Black Lake, leaving. Ginny and Harry were making out, with Ginny's hand ruffled in his messy hair and leg wrapped around his... I'm sorry. Harry's waist. I swear, that is not on purpose. Oh. I feel the colors draining from my face. Oh. Ew. I'm literally like stiffening up into like the cradle position. Whoo! Gross. Oh, heartbreak. Ah, damn. Too late. I don't feel good. Heartbreak. What the hell just happened? I don't ever care about Malfoy. Don't ever care about Potter who Potter is with. Ouch. Why am I being so weak? Ugh. Draco thought, pacing back and forth in front of the lake, running his fingers through his hair and pulling on the ends. Why does Potter always find a way to leave my feelings so depressed? Bloody Potter. Ugh. He likes to go ugh a lot, doesn't he? Draco sat down, cupping his head in his hands, started streaming with tears. His tears were uncontrollable and could have been there for hours crying. His robes were becoming wet from tears. Suddenly he jumped at the sound of feminine gasp. Slytherin wiped his tears quickly away and turned his head to see Pansy Parkinson's and Millie Bulstrode. Sorry. Hey, it could be both. I don't know. Draco! Pansy called, covering her mouth with her hands in shock. What ever happened? Draco stood up, straightening his robes and rubbing his eyes. Millie slowly walked over towards him to not startle the boy and pulled him into a tight hug. Draco jumped at this and thought, they don't usually hug me, only Harry. But hugged back and bursted into tears again, showing his weak side. Shh, it's okay. Should we go back to the common room? We were looking for you, Millie said, looking at Draco into his bloodshot eyes, tired from crying. Okay, Draco said, stuttering, sniffling. Tell us what happened, Draco, Pansy said, taking his hand and walking back to the castle. Harry, Draco started, I'm stuttering now, stuttered, holding in more tears. He loves Weaselette. I'm sorry, this is the most serious scene, but I always love him calling them weasels. And even now, oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. I just like the dumbest things and the grossest things ever, so this is great. A few tears started making its way down Draco's face. And this makes you sad because... Millie said a bit rudely. Millie! Pansy's almost lost the plot. Oh yeah. And slapped her on the arm. No. It's fine. Draco wiped his eyes and looked at his friends. She's right. I'm not sure why I felt hurt by Potter and Weaselette They weren't shagging. They were just kissing. And she had I'm going to throw up if I ever picture that again. She had her leg around his waist. Frig. I need a lot of yaoi after this. I can't. Draco spoke, looking into nothing. Maybe you like him? Pansy said, carefully squeezing his hand. What? No, Potter? No way. He's not even a friend, let alone a crush. Draco, I don't know where that accent came from. I just literally just went with it. Someone yelled at me for rolling my R's, but I took Spanish, and you're supposed to roll your R's. And also in a lot of music, you roll your R's too. So I don't try to do it on purpose. It's a mix of the Minnesotan accent, yeah. No, that's just a Canadian accent. I am so sorry. That's just rude. Okay, anyways. I looked away with disgust. I didn't say you had a crush on him, Draco. I just said you liked him, Pansy said, trying to gain his attention again. There was an awkward silence after that, until broke up by Millie. So, Draco, how come Potter likes Weaselette now? It looked like he was kind of into you. From what I saw, at least. Draco turned quickly to Millie. What did you see? Millie looked at him and replied with, That doesn't matter? That does matter. Draco huffed and looked forward. But really, you can't change that quickly. Did you notice anything different about him? Draco sighed, knowing that he did, and that Weaselette had to have Harry drink the potion Weasley and Granger were in. Draco used his free hand to run his fingers through his hair again before looking at Millie. Like what? Millie said with a calm voice. I think he's under file of idle minds. Pansy gasped and Millie looked confused. What's that? Millie asked. File of idle minds is a very dangerous mind-controlling potion. We're not allowed to learn it at school. It's got some extremely rare ingredients, and when under too long, the potion could stay like that forever. Pansy spoke quickly and shocked. Draco was horrified by the last bit. He could love Weaselette forever. Draco saw the castle in sight and started running towards it, letting go of Pansy's hand. Where are you going? Pansy shouted as Draco got further and further away. I need to talk to Snape, Draco replied, slowing down into a quick walk as he entered the castle. Navigating his way around to come to potions class, he opened the door and walked into Snape's desk, and he was marking papers. Did anyone ever teach you to knock? Snape said calmly, as it was his favorite student. Professor, Harry Potter is under file of the idle minds. I think it was Ginny Weasley who did it. Draco explained, coming to a stop at the professor's desk. That's a very bold of you to assume, Draco. Why do you think this? Do you have proof? Snape questioned, putting down his quill to have his full attention. Yes, sir. If you look at Harry's mind, they're black, just like Weasley and Granger's. I'm saying this really fast because this is what I would do. Draco said, getting worried. Oh, I see. You calling Mr. Potter by his first name now. Draco's eyes widened in realization. And why do you think it's Miss Weasley? Snape said, resting his head on his hands. Well, Harry never exactly liked Weaselettes, but today I caught them making out in the hallway. It's just a bit odd, and he was being different to me in potions. I asked him if he was okay, and he told me to stay away because he had a girlfriend. Draco explained, pulling a face of disgust and disheartened. I see. Well, next potions lesson, I will be sure to sort it out. I will have the antidote ready, and he will be fixed up. Now, back to your dorm. We can't have any points taken away from Slytherin, Snape said, motioning to the door. Right, okay. Thank you, Professor. Goodbye. Draco said, making his way over to the door. He suddenly felt apprehensive due to what Pansy said. What if he stays like that forever? I've always loved him, really? Now he admits it. Oh, jeez. I can't stand to see him with someone else. I love him. Draco made his way back to Slytherin common rooms and tried his best not to think about it for the rest of the night. Robots. Oh, jeez. Harry and Ginny were going to visit Ron and Hermione the next morning because they would have woken up from the antidote. Come on, Harry, Ginny called for Harry like if you would call for a dog. We need to visit my brother and Hermione. Harry rushed over and held Ginny's hand and kissed her on the cheek. I will throw up. I feel like I'm going to be in The Exorcist, and if you don't know that reference, don't look it up. Let's go. Harry's voice sounded almost robotic. They made their way to the hospital wing and saw Ron and Hermione sit up in bed, looking around confused, rubbing their heads. So they don't remember being poisoned either. Oh, this pisses me off. Hey guys, how have you been? Asked Ginny, skipping over to sit on Ron's bed. Amazing, Ron said, looking bored at his younger sister. Hey, Harry, Ron said, looking at Harry getting out of bed. Hello, Ron, Harry said robotically. Are you okay, Harry? Hermione said, also getting out of bed. Yeah, I'm fine. You don't look fine. Oh my goodness. Harry, your eyes, Hermione said, holding his face. We should get going. Harry, dear, come, Ginny said, pushing Hermione away from Harry and pulling him towards the door. Oi, hang on. We just woke up. I'm sure Harry would want to talk to us. Ron shouted at Ginny. No, he doesn't want to talk, Ginny said, getting annoyed and wanted to get to be alone with Harry. You didn't even ask him. We want to talk with him anyway. He's our best friend, and we want to hear everything that's going on. Ron yelled, also getting annoyed and tugging on Harry's arm to come over to their beds. Well, he's my boyfriend, and I don't want to be here with you, Ginny said, pouting and stomping on the floor. Since when? Ron said, stomping his foot at Ginny. Children are giving me a headache. Ginny, you can go if you want to talk. If you don't want to talk to us, we are going to talk to Harry, Hermione demanded, rubbing her temples. No, you cannot keep Harry. He's my boyfriend, and I... Can you be quiet? It's too early for shouting, Can you be quiet? It's too early to be shouting, Miss Weasley, said Madame Pomfrey. If Mr. Weasley and Mrs. Granger wish to talk to Mr. Potter, then they can. You don't own him. Now go and have some breakfast. Mr. Potter will join you shortly. Ginny, looked devastated and was about to kill. Ugh, she huffed and stormed out. Thank you, Madame Pomfrey, said Hermione, and pulled Harry gently over to their bed. Bloody hell. How can you stay with that girl like this? Ron said, looking over to the door. Shut up, I love her. Harry said with his emotionless voice. Harry, what happened to your eyes? They're black. Hermione said, holding his head and looking his head and showing Ron. Bloody hell, what happened? Was it Malfoy? Ugh, I hate Malfoy. That I choked on my words. Eat your words. That git. He always questioning me. Harry got angry and punched the duvet. I thought he was your partner. Dance partner. Hermione asked, rubbing his arm. Oh no, Ron's finding out. This is how no one can keep a secret. Gotta keep it. The song from like Pretty Little Liars or something. Never watched it. Don't want to. No offense. Malfoy's your dance partner? Ron screamed, looking at Hermione in disgust. Oh. Hermione realized that she had just given out Harry's secret. She looked at Harry for his reaction, but he just looked. Dead. Something's happened while me and Ron were out. He's different. He's only got one face, if we are talking about Malfoy. Maybe we should go to Snape's. Harry, we need to go somewhere now, Hermione said, going behind a curtain to change. Ron copied and got changed. Harry was still sat on the bed, looking at nothing. Come on then, Hermione said, coming out of the curtains while straightening her robes. She took Harry's arm, followed by Ron. Where are we going? Ron demanded, catching up with his friends. Oh, you'll see, Ronald, Hermione said, checking around. Since they weren't supposed to be out of bed. Once they reached Snape's, Hermione felt Harry move forward and looked over her shoulder to see Harry had pushed himself out of her arms and was running straight for Draco. Harry? Draco said, alarmed at the pace he was at. He shuffled back a bit, before being pinned to the wall with his tie in Harry's hand. Harry, what are you doing? Release me at once, Draco demanded, getting a bit scared. Shut up, Malfoy. Harry punched Draco in the face really hard, leaving a red mark above his left eye. Oof. Draco was yelping and holding his hand to his mouth. Mouth? Right above his left eye. What about your mouth? Which was bleeding. How would it be? He punched you in the head, not the mouth. Okay, whatever. Okay. which was bleeding when Harry had struck him again. Oh, Harry punched in the stomach. The blonde wrapped his arms around his stomach in pain before Ron came and kicked him in the shins. Draco dropped to the floor, crying and bleeding from his mouth and nose. He was in so much pain, he curled up into a ball and he expected his fate before Hermione jumped in the way and shouted, "Stop it, both of you! What's wrong with you?" She screamed, holding Ron back. Harry stepped in on Draco's leg and caused him to make him yelp in pain and tried to shift away when "Potter!" Snape called, grabbing his shoulder and holding his shoulders tightly. "What are you doing to Draco in my office now?" "In my office," I think it's 2 sentences. "What are you doing to Draco? In my office now," he boomed. Harry reluctantly dragged his feet into the classroom. Snape bent down to Draco and pulled his hand to stand him up. "Stop crying, you're not a baby. Pull yourself together," Snape said, shaking the already shaking boy. Draco was shaking from fear and tears. He could barely stand. As soon as Snape left, he dropped to the floor again. "Why me?" "Hey, Draco." Hermione came over to the Slytherin and crouched down to the ground. "I'm sorry about Harry. He's not been acting himself since he woke up." Hermione spoke softly. Why do you care about me?" Draco said, looking away, flinching from fear of getting punched when she moved. "I don't. But right now, you would be heartless not to help you," she said, pulling him into a hug, which caught him off guard. Draco hugged back tightly, sinking into her embrace. "I'm sorry I treated you like shit. I'm so sorry." I don't know if I'm in the middle of crying or just laughing. I'm just having that moment right now. Draco said, tears leaving his eyes and squeezing her tighter. "It's okay. As long as we can put our past behind us, Draco," she said, hugging him back tightly before pulling back. "Yes, I noticed something about him. I know what it is," he said, looking at her with eyes tired from crying and flushed cheeks. "What happened?" she said, looking interested, and moved forward. Ugh, I have to say this again. Why don't they have an acronym like FOIM? FOM. You guys had been put under the file of idle mind, which is one of your eyes. It's when your eyes turn black, and once instructions are given to you, you got to follow them. I'm guessing Harry got put under it as well." Draco sighed and looked at Hermione into Hermione's sympathetic eyes. "Oh, Draco, I'm so sorry. Look, if I done anything to you, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry about what Snape told you, and he could see you were in pain and just told you to suck it up." Hermione's wise words comforted Draco. "It's okay. He usually says that," Draco said. "Oh, Enough! He's evil, Hermione. Why are you being nice to him? You're being pulled under a spell or something." "Oh, come on. No! I don't care about other... Don't make me kill you." Okay. I'm in the middle of this one. Under or something, he's pulled," Ron shouted and pointed his wand at her. "Ronald Weasley, how dare you assume that?" Hermione yelled. Draco stood up and still shaking and said, "Hermione, it's okay. Really. I'm the one who insulted Ron's family and you. I deserve it. But I'm being honest. I wish you had the guts to say I wanted to be your friend. I wish I had the guts to say I wanted to be your friend back then," he said, putting his hand behind his neck. "Draco, no, he's obviously trying to convince us to make us feel sorry for him," Ron said, walking closer to him. I've said sorry. What else do you want me to say? Draco almost yelled, before the intention turned to something else. Truce. How far am I right now? Oh, I'm almost done. How long is this? We're gonna be over an hour. I'm sorry. We gotta finish this. Snape was holding Harry in his arms, like you would hold a significant other. Oh, like a baby style. I believe this is yours. And put Harry on the floor, who was calmly sleeping. Take him to the hospital wing. And Snape went inside his classroom like it was the most normal thing in the world. Right as that happened, it was time for class. Hermione, Ron, the least I can do is take care of him, because you don't want to be late for class, Draco said, limping over to Harry, and used the levitating spell to pick him up. Since he doesn't have the strength, he could barely walk himself. Okay, Draco, we will see you shortly, Hermione said, dragging Ron to their next lesson, Transfiguration. While Ron was making faces of annoyance and offensiveness, what am I going to do with Harry? Wait, Hermione and Ron just came out of the hospital ring and already started lessons. Draco pushed the Griffin door to the hospital wing until stopped by Madame Pomfrey. Where did Miss Granger and Mr. Weasley go? She asked, looking at Harry. Well, Hermione kind of didn't want to miss class, and Ron had homework and thought they could get on the normal routine, Draco said gingerly. Right, well, they should have, and, she looked, pointing at Harry, what happened here? Harry got the same effect as Ron and Hermione. Draco was pushing Harry forward to Pomfrey. Okay, well, I will leave him with you. Draco took off the spell, and Madame Pomfrey carried him to the free bed. The free bed. I don't know why I said bread. You can go to class. Actually, I want to stay here with him, if that's okay, the blonde asked, slowing down. Madame Pomfrey hesitated before allowing him to stay. He will be asleep for about 2 to 3 days. Draco nodded, and as Madame Pomfrey walked out and closed the curtains surrounding Harry's bed. I'm sorry, Harry, for being a pain for the last time you saw me. I'm sorry for being horrible to you for those past years. I'm so sorry for everything, Draco thought, while sitting on his bed. I think I love you. He gently leaned into Harry and pushed his lips against Harry's forehead. The blonde started playing with the Raven boy's messy hair, before trailing his hand to his cheek and caressing it gently. I wish you would wake up sooner. He curled up next to the smaller boy, wrapped his arms around Harry, and nuzzled into the crook of his neck before falling asleep. Draco woke up to whispering. He slowly opened his eyes and looked to the side of him. Ron and Hermione stood watching them. He jumped away from Harry and straightened up. Wasn't expecting you here, Hermione and Ron, he said stupidly while fixing his hair. We weren't expecting you to cuddle up with Harry, said Ron, sniggering, flickering between the two. You see, before Draco could finish explaining, he was pulled into a hug. He willingly hugged back. Am I really getting hugged by a Weasley? If Father hears about this, I could be kicked out of the house. Hey, you can move in with the Weasleys. You know what? I would love to move in with the Weasleys. That's the weird thing, though. Ron released the Slytherin and patted him on the back. Hermione got into my head. Any friend of Harry's is a friend of mine, Ron said with a genuine smile on his face. Draco gently smiled back before Ron's expression turned into sympathetic. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding earlier. With the ginger motioned all the bodies, the Draco's body referring to him, supposedly injuring the blonde, and smiled awkwardly. If you get what I mean, mate. Draco nodded while feeling limp. Yeah, I'm sorry. Ron rubbed the back of his neck. You know what? This comedian, I think it was Kevin Hart. He said, no. It was Daz Black. He's a YouTuber. Daz Games and Daz Black, the channel. He used to be a Viner. He said that if a guy starts touching his neck, he is apologizing for cheating, lying, or hurting someone. Those are the main things. And I believe that. I absolutely believe that. I have not seen it yet because none of my exes actually apologized for cheating on me, but that's a different story. Let me see. I'm sorry for the misunderstanding. Blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about it, bro. It was nothing, Draco said, remembering all the times his father had put him under the Cruciatus curse, many other spells and potions. Nothing. If Snape didn't stop, Harry, you could have broken your leg, said Hermione, slightly worried why he would say that. It's nothing. Besides, Madame Pomfrey could fix a broken leg in a heartbeat. Draco nodded in the direction to where Madame Pomfrey was usually, but had left for dinner. I guess. Well, I think we should get something to eat. Hermione motioned to the exit. I can't walk in with you. I don't want my father hearing about this, Harry said, shivering out of fear. I thought your favorite line was, wait till my father hears about this. Ron teased him. Hermione punched him gently in the shoulder. I understand, Draco, but can we spend some time with Harry alone? Hermione asked, walking closer to Harry's bed. Oh, sure, I'm gonna go to dinner, then. See ya. Draco made his way to the exit. Bye. See ya, mate. Draco slid through the curtains surrounding Harry's bed and gracefully limping. I never thought that would be in the same same sentence. You gracefully limp. That sounds fun. Through the doors. I've got to get used to calling Granger and Weasley by their first names. I don't want to even imagine what it would be like if Father found out we made a truce. But what about Harry? I will be dead if he finds out anything about that. Once Draco entered the Great Hall, he saw Pansy looking up like a meerkat, bounded over the blonde. Harry, where have you been all day? We've been worried sick, Pansy yelled, mothering him around while fixing his hair. I've been fine, Draco said, pushing his friend's hands away off of him. Where were you? Pansy said, getting annoyed. Draco set aside, knowing he can't leave without saying and surrender. I was with Potter. Happy now? He stuttered. He strutted over to the Slytherin's table and sat down with the rest of his troops. All right, troops. Pansy followed behind and sat down without a word. Next day, Draco was in detention, the most boring subject ever. Professor Trelawney was walking over to every desk, asking questions about what they saw. There was a silver dish in front of Draco, and his partner was Tracy Davis, whom Draco didn't really like because she was all over him and had a huge crush on the boy. Draco wasn't paying attention to anything and went off into his own trance before this happened. What about you, dear boy? Trelawney came to Draco and Tracy's table. What? Draco jumped at how she had got from one end of the room to the other in a matter of seconds. What color is the liquid in the dish? Trelawney said, peering into the dish. Draco looked into the dish blankly and stared at it for about a minute before answering. It's a clear like water, he said, looking at her boredly. She gave a forced smile and waved her hand over the dish. Now what do you see? She said, pulling her hand away, glancing at Draco again. Draco stared at the water again. Oh, wait. I think I see something, Draco said. Something surprised at the water. What is it? I'm sorry, but if I hated this person so much, this would be me. What is it? Trelawney said, getting excited. Water. Draco looked at Trelawney with boredom, and his eyes half shut, like he was about to go to sleep. Trelawney nodded, smiling in annoyance, before leaving his desk to the front of the class. Haha, Draco, you're so funny, Trelawney said with a huge smile showing her buck teeth. You know what? I thought Emma, Frigg, is it, no, I can't think of her name. She played Nanny McPhee, played this character, and I really liked her playing this character. And her husband was playing, I think the guy that Hermione had a crush on in second year? Yes. It's the guy who was the phony, was her husband in real life. And he was dating Helena Bonham Carter when they were trying to get back together because they divorced or something. And Helena didn't know that. And they both found out and they became best friends. So that was funny. That's a fun little story. You can say that all three of them have been on Harry Potter and they were going through that at the time. So that was fun. Whew, sorry. Are we still going? Yes. Oh, you're so funny. She showed off her back teeth. Draco looked at her in disgust as she edged closer and twisted her arm around his arm. Oh, how I wish we could be paired for the ball. You could have taken me in a horse carriage. We could have rewritten Cinderella. We could be married and have 2 children. Who is saying this? Tracy. Oh, okay. Draco, you're so funny, Tracy said with a huge smile, showing her buck teeth. Draco looked at her in disgust as she edged closer and twisted her arm around his. Goes, oh, how I wish we were paired for the ball. You could have taken me in a horse carriage. We could have rewritten Cinderella. We could be married and have 2 children. We will live in a happy marriage, all thanks to the ball, Tracy said dreamily, resting her head on Draco's shoulder, inches away from his face. You see, the ball only puts together people who have a chance of dating. Draco drifted off, remembering he was partnered with Harry. Well, shit. That's what I would say. Well, shit. Yes, well, I love you and you love me. We're a perfect match, Tracy said, stroking his hair. She leaned in to Draco's lips and closing her eyes. When Draco realized she was trying to kiss him, she backed up quickly, falling off the bench they were at. Psychopath! I don't love you. Stop trying. You almost stole a kiss from... Oh, wait. No, this is... Psychopath! I don't love you. Stop trying. You almost stole my first kiss. How dare you? Draco stood up in anger before being weighed down onto the floor again. No, sweetie pie. Don't leave. I love you. I'm sorry. Please don't... Please give me a kiss. On the cheek. She leaned in closer to Draco, whom was getting really annoyed. I'm not kissing you! No! The whole class was staring at them before Trelawney pulled them apart and asked them to stop flirting. Me? Flirting with her? Oh, please. I can do better than that. She's needy and desperate, clingy, ugly, and scary. I don't see how a superior like you, superior like myself, could flirt with such filth like her. Draco spat, crossing his arms and looking into the other direction, pouting. Tracy teared up and ran out of the classroom in the nick of time. The lesson was over, and Draco didn't have to deal with her until he was back in the common room. Oh, she was a Slytherin? Oh, you fucked up now, my dude. Please, please, get me out of this mess. Okay. In his mind, Tracy Wasey called no one other than Tracy Davis. I know you didn't mean all those horrible things. I still love you. We will be married someday, she said, clinging onto him like a koala. Draco finally lost it. With years of her clinging onto him, madly in love with the boy, and bursted out, saying, What? Don't you understand? I don't like you and never will. Draco shouted, pushing her off. Yes, you will, silly, Tracy said, clinging back. I'm gay. I can assure you I won't like you back, Draco screamed, covering his mouth, realizing the whole Slytherin common room heard. Tracy got off him in disgust and backed away into the crowd, yelling, Ew! The whole common room went into a little discussion, whispering. Draco could only make out words like gross, gay, fag. What are they, 12? I'm sorry, only 12-year-olds on, like, PUBG or, like, Fortnite or any other online game says that. It's just so horrible, like, stupid. He didn't want to hear any more and left the common room. Great, now the whole school knows I'm gay. Fantastic. The blonde started through the corridors, thinking where to go. But of course he had found his way to the hospital wing by Harry's side. Okay then, I guess I'm paying Harry a visit. Draco walked up to the Gryffindor's bed and gently sat down, carefully to not hurt his legs. I'm so grateful that Weasley hasn't smothered you in kisses. Draco rolled his eyes, annoyed of even thinking about the ginger girl. He looked down at the sleeping tranquility raven-haired boy. His hair was ruffled like he had been dragged through a bush backwards. Is that a saying? His glasses were rested on the cabinet. Draco had never seen Harry so calm. He's so cute. I've never seen Potter like this before. I've only seen his face when I stole his glasses for jokes. I guess I've never really paid attention to how beautiful he is without them. There were loose strands of his hair covering his face. Draco lifted his hand to the sleeping boy and delicately tucked the long strand of hair behind his ear. He scooted up next to Harry, where he was laying on the side facing Draco. The Slytherin gently caressed the Gryffindor's hair, taming the mad bundle of wool, running his fingers through his hair. He looked down to see one on the right side of his forehead laid the scar in the shape of the lightning bolt. He hesitated in a bit, observing the scar. I've never seen it up close before. It reminds me of him. Draco thought, referring to Voldemort. He touched the scar with his thumb, stroking over the shape of the scar, making its pattern. We are a mess, you and I. But the truth is, you capture me in ways no soul ever will. Oh my word! The bitch is back! Draco leaned in and about to kiss him on the forehead before... Did I interrupt something? Oh, the feeling came back. I don't know what it is. I never liked... I liked her when she was little, when she had a crush on him. After that, no. Weasley yelled at the top of her young lungs. Harry's still with Weaselette. Shit. Oh, that sentence. Oh. Hold on a second. 1 tear, 2 tear. This is mine. Back off. Whoa. It's a thing now? I knew guys objectified girls. When are you turning the tables, bitch? Sorry. Draco stood up quickly, sashayed over to the threat. Please. This person probably watched Drag Race and went, yes, bitch. Sashayed over to the threat, as Draco would call it. You see, Weaselette, in my opinion, I wouldn't like to have been forced into a love potion by you. Into a love by a potion. Draco raised an eyebrow to see Ginny turned redder and redder. He put on a triumphant smile. I know your secret. And when he wakes up, he will break up with you. He whispered in her ear, making her twitch. Ginny pulled together bravery and spoke up. I don't know what you're talking about. I would never do anything like that. I love him. He's my boyfriend. Besides, he's not even gay. If he was, he wouldn't have been my boyfriend, Ginny said, with her eyes popping out of her head and her voice getting higher and higher. Your face says otherwise, he said, dropping the grin into a serious frown. Leave before I tear apart every bone in your body, leaving you deflated, because if you ever mess with Harry again, you will pay for it. Ginny backed up, feeling scared of the taller, older boy. Do I make myself clear? He crossed his arms, knowing that the Gryffindor was scared for life. Yes, she admitted, before running off, crying. Draco triumphantly grinned, unfolding his arms. He looked up at the huge clock above the door. 10 o'clock. Yay, herbology. He left to go to the herbology. Harry's POV. This is an author's note. I'm doing Harry's POV from when he passed out to Snape's class. Hello? Is anyone there? Harry said darkness was surrounding him. It was all he could see. The floor was drenched. It was covered in wet, but the water wasn't particularly deep. It covered at least 4/10 of his feet. It's so dark. Where am I? Why can't I see? An idea hit him and searched his pockets and around his waist. No, my wand! Harry yelled, sighing, knowing he's going to be here a while. 5 minutes later, a light had covered most of the area, allowing Harry to see, but he could also see. Draco, I'm here, help me! Everything looked a lot different, like from a different perspective. He saw Draco sitting on his bed with his hands stretched out. Harry thought about it for a while before realizing that Draco was holding him. Only it looked from the perspectives. Harry was looking through the eyes, but wasn't in his body. This is too confusing. Why aren't I moving? Harry said, furiously looking back at Draco's beautiful face. Before he knew it, he was leaning into Harry's face, kissing his forehead. Harry gasped in that his crush. He was kissing him on the forehead. This can't be happening. Am I falling for Draco Malfoy? He just kissed me on the forehead. This has to be a dream. Harry kept watching Draco as he curled up next to his body and curled around him. Oh, he cares. He cares about me. Harry sat down on the wet floor, but strangely enough, he didn't get wet. It was a silky substance, but looked like water, and could easily be moved like liquid. Okay, Harry said awkwardly and sighed, spreading his hands out in every direction to feel the smooth sensation of this unknown substance. The awakening. The awakening of Draco's POV. 4 days later. Oof. Woof. I don't know where that came from. Finally finished today. Now I can practice piano in peace. Draco left configuration class, which was his last lesson, swiftly heading to the Black Lake until he was stopped by other Slytherins. Vincent, Crabbe, Goyle, Pike, and Tracy Davis. What? Draco said, already getting annoyed just by looking at them. You know what? Tracy said, walking up to him, still scanning his body. You know, I can turn you straight. That bitch. I'm gonna cry. Oh, I love this author. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna cry. I'm sorry. Just that one sentence just, oh no. Hunty, you do not know anything about sexuality. Ow. So we can just forget all of this, and you won't have to deal with us. 'Cause you're hot, Tracy said. Tracy put her arm around Draco's shoulder. You'll turn me straight, Draco said, trying not to laugh. Did I fucking stutter? Draco laughed so much he almost passed out. What's so funny? Davis looked furious, stomping on the ground. Sure, okay, you'll turn me straight. Right, okay, well, not like this hasn't been fun, but I need to be with someone right now. Draco got himself together and was about to leave. I don't think so. Davis snapped her fingers, and Crabbe and Goyle got a hold of Draco tightly. Draco squirmed from the bruises when Draco had beat him up. Let me go, you filthy mudblood. Draco spat, kicking Crabbe and Goyle. Well, he didn't say it, he thought it. I don't know why I'm doing whatever. Let me ask this again, Draco. Davis walked over to where he was pinned against the wall. Are you gonna be my boyfriend or be gay with Potter? She gave a disgusted look in the mention of Gay and Potter. Draco was looking at her, tired of fighting back. Tracy clearly couldn't wait any longer and had pressed her lips against Draco's. He resisted, moving his head to each side in verge of crying. Tracy held his head still, messing up his hair while licking Draco's. These girls are nasty. I literally want to just I just want to kill every girl in this thing except Hermione. Hermione is has boundaries and these girls don't. Please stop. Please have a restraining order. I want a restraining order on some girls in Hogwarts. Can I have that? Tracy held his... A few tears started to shed, and Draco wrapped her... Oh, hallelujah. Oh, he's being sexually assaulted. I need my comfort blankie. This is nasty. You nasty motherfuckers. Nasty. Okay. Pike flew from the... Okay, wrapped her leg around Draco's leg. Sorry. She's basically wrapping her legs around his to stop him from wriggling. A flash of scarlet light was set, and Tracy was flung to the other side of the corridor. Another spark of light was set, and Crabbe and Goyle were flung to the other side. Pike flew from the scene and ran into the other direction. Draco dropped to the floor, wiping his lips on his sleeves in disgust, while shedding more tears. Tracy ran off with Pike, followed by Crabbe and Goyle. Draco leaned against the wall, hitting his head on the cold stone. Oh, hold on a second. I had an itch on my arm. Oh, by the way, I have to tell you something. I know this is kind of weird, but I'm going to get my wisdom teeth out on Tuesday. I might film myself and then put it online without editing it. I'll put my videos together. But that's it. Leaned against the wall, throwing his head into the wall, breaking into tears. Need any help? A familiar voice said, approaching Draco, and holding out his hand. Draco looked up to see a small boy with round, circular glasses, jet black, messy hair, 4 green eyes, and a lightning bolt scar on the right side of his forehead. Harry! Draco leapt up, wrapping his arms around the boy, sobbing into his uniform. Harry hugged him back, squeezing him and resting his head on his shoulder. It was the kind of hug where you forget everything that is going on around you. I missed you so much. I'm so sorry for being so rude, Draco said, squeezing him tightly back. It's okay, I forgive you, Harry whispered into his ear. Draco squeezed tighter onto the smaller boy, afraid he will lose him if he let go. Why? Draco said, sniffling. Harry leaned his chin on his shoulder. Sorry? Harry turned his face to Draco. Why do you forgive me when I've been so horrible to you? Draco said, while Harry let go of him. I forgive you because... Harry paused, realizing that he didn't know why he forgave him. Well, he did, but he didn't want to say it out loud. Because I'm a forgiving person? Harry said, with his voice getting higher. Oh, right. Of course. Well, I've got to go. Draco pointing in the direction of the nearest exit. Where? Oh, where? Harry said, interested. None of your business, turned to leave in a fury, but stopped by Draco, speaking. Still the same insufferable git. Excuse me, Draco said, facing him with anger. I've just saved you from you being turned straight. I've been sleeping for gosh knows how long. I don't even know what fucking day it is. And this is how you treat me, Harry yelled, pushing him slightly. Draco realized his mistake and how selfish he was. Harry, Save it. Harry turned away and stormed off. Draco stood there, processing what he did wrong. Ugh, how could I be such an insufferable git? Harry just woke up, and I was already losing my temper. Whatever. I'm going back to the Black Lake. Draco spun on his heel and marched to the Black Lake. Ugh, what a git, honestly. Not even bothering to tell me what's happening. I just saved him. I will make sure not to make that mistake again. Harry made his way up to the Gryffindor common room to tell Ron and Hermione that he's back. Once he got up there, the portrait said to speak the password, and the painting swung open to find Neville standing at the entrance. Harry, you're awake! Neville screamed, hugging him. First bit of appreciation? Cheers, Neville, Harry said gloomily. What's that supposed to mean? Neville asked, stepping back to give him some space. Malfoy, Harry spat, giving a look of disgust. What else would you expect? It's Malfoy, Neville said, rolling his eyes. What a git. Talking about Malfoy, I heard he's gay. Malfoy, gay? Now, Neville said, almost crying of laughter. Harry didn't really hear him because of his own little daydream. Yeah, okay. Harry replied, smiling to pretend that he knew what Neville said. I should really go and see Ron and Hermione. Oh yeah, of course. And Harry, it's Saturday. In case you didn't know, Neville said, making handgun gestures. Sure, okay. I don't get it. And I'm the age I am. Thank you, Neville. Harry appreciated Neville for the day, unlike Malfoy. Harry walked through the portrait and got stares by everyone before breaking into whispers. Okay, great. First day back, Neville is the only appreciative one so far. Harry, you're back! Hermione shouted with a smile taking up her whole face. I'm back, said Harry, shrugging his shoulders and smiling. Hermione hugged him tightly before walking him over to the sofa she sat at. Where's Ron? Harry said, looking around. Hermione hesitated a bit before revealing truth. Please don't be mad at me after I say this, Hermione said, placing a hand on his thigh. Why would I be mad? Harry said, laughing slightly. Oh, honey, do not laugh. Promise you won't be mad, Hermione said, lifting her hand off of him. Fine, I promise I won't be mad, said Harry, his smile fading a bit. I might have kinda sorta told Ron that Malfoy was your dancing partner. Draco. Harry was, Hermione said, twisting her hands together nervously. Whoa. Wait, let me get this straight. You, what? Harry yelled with people staring at him like usual. You promised you wouldn't be bad, Hermione said, pouting. Harry looked around, stressed and anxious. Fine, what happened? Harry said, forcing her again So while you were hypnotized, I was hypnotized? Harry shouted, jumping up. Did Madame Pomfrey not say? Hermione said, pulling him onto the sofa. No, Harry said in shock. Well, I will explain that later. Anyway, you seem to have been hypnotized to hate Malfoy and love Ginny. And once in the hospital, when you came to visit us, Ginny got stressed because we wanted to talk to you. I think one of us mentioned Malfoy, and you went berserk. And Ron and I got confused. And I said, isn't Malfoy your dance partner? And Ron got mad. Hermione explained, looking at him in hope he won't get mad. Harry looked at her, sighing, before saying, okay, well, thanks for telling me. Could you say when I was hypnotized and for how long? Harry asked. Well, I was actually still asleep, but when I first saw you, you were apparently under the same potion as myself and Ron. I think Ginny was the cause of this, Hermione said, with her face scrunching up into a pug-like face. You don't usually jump to conclusions, but okay, sure. Harry said, looking into the fireplace, still trying to take all this in. Oh, I almost forgot. You also beat up Malfoy pretty harshly. I wonder why he just doesn't want to talk to you. Hold on. Go away. Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, reconsidering. Holy shit. Harry's eyes flew open in shock. Stood in his tracks with eyes as wide as his glasses. What have I done? Then I'm calling him a git? I gotta go, Harry said, backing up, heading to the door. But Harry, called Hermione, walking towards him. Sorry, I need to find him and catch you later, Harry said, running out of the dormitory after speaking the password. Wait, you have to speak the password twice? They didn't show that in the movie. Maybe they show it in the books, but I haven't read the books yet, so I need to do that. That should be in another channel, so if you want to hear that, just let me know. Okay. Oh, I gotta go. Sorry, I need to find... Harry said... I can't believe I done this. I can't believe you done this. Vine, I miss you, baby. Okay. He probably didn't feel safe around me and said he needed to go. Where could we be? Slytherin common room? Great hall? Bullying first year? I have nowhere else Then it hit him. He stopped halfway down the corridor to the DADA classroom. The Black Lake. Harry spun around and headed to the Black Lake in search of Draco. Draco's POV from when Harry stormed off. Me, an insufferable git? If Snape hadn't come to... Wait, if Granger hadn't come to... I'm so pathetic. I got rescued by a Muggleborn. Draco thought he was as he sat at the Black Lake. He gazed into his reflection in the dark liquid. Every now and then, a drop of rain would splash on the calm lake to create ripples over his reflection. Gosh, I look hideous. I'm so pale. White hair, white face. I even got gray eyes. Who would ever want me? Me. I volunteer as tribute. I'd date you. You're kind of cute. Sorry. I'm an idiot. Draco stared out again across the misty lake focusing on the trees being revealed from the fog as it blew away. The lake gradually had more and more ripples created until it was pouring the rain. Pathetic. Fallacy. Sure. Much. What's wrong with me? I should have spoken to Potter more. I bet he hates me now. Tears progressively dripped down Draco's pale face until onto his soaking robes. Now I'm crying again. Pathetic. Draco brought his knees tightly to his chest and squeezed them tightly, putting his head into his knees. Harry Potter game, shut up. I need to stop playing those games. Draco brought his knees to his chest, squeezing them tightly, putting his knees into his chest and sobbing gently. Draco! Screamed a voice behind the bushes. Draco's heart leaped into his throat when he heard his voice. Being used in that tone, he thought it was his father. He wiped his eyes on his already wet sleeves and stood up, looking around to see who emerges. Who's there? Draco called, pulling out his wand slowly. Show yourself! Draco's eyes scanning the area of any trace of movement or sound. Draco! The voice called again from behind the boy, a pair of arms wrapped around his neck, pulling him backwards into a tight hug. I'm sorry. I didn't realize I beat you up. I'm so sorry. Harry, you're you're choking me. Me when I'm trying to be nice. Hug, you're suffocating me. Draco said, trying to escape his tight grip around his neck. Harry immediately let go of him and apologized again and again, while Draco caught his breath while rubbing his neck. I should probably go. I'm not helping. I almost choked you. Harry spoke loudly from the rain. It was raining so hard and loud that you had to particularly loud to be able to be heard, to hear what's going on. No, wait! I'm sorry! Draco shouted, grabbing onto his robe. Why? I beat you up, and I called you an insufferable git, and had no idea what happened when I was hypnotized. Harry shouted, startled by Draco apologizing. Well, I wouldn't say you beat me up. You got into a fight with me, and one person has to lose, and that just so happens to be the outnumbered person. Draco shouted, embarrassed that he got beaten up. Harry looked at him with a look as to say, really? I'm sorry, I didn't know. Harry shouted, on the verge of breaking down, thinking he'd caused such destruction. It's not your fault. As you said, you were hypnotized, and you didn't know what you were doing. Draco yelled, putting his wand into his pocket. Why are you forgiving me? Harry shouted, with sorrow in his eyes. Draco gave him a weak, sweet smile and shouted, because I'm a forgiving person. Harry looked at him with a lopsided smile. Since when have you been forgiving? Harry teased, shivering from the cold. You can't say much. Remember the start of the year? Draco shouted, smiling gently back. Okay, that was one time, Harry said, remembering that day on the train. Oh, yeah? What about in first year, when you turned down my friendship? Draco yelled, crossing his arms in triumph. Okay, you can't use this against me, Malfoy, Harry shouted, giggling discreetly. Let's go inside. he shouted, gesturing to the castle. "You go ahead. I like sitting out here. It helps me clear my head," Draco shouted, turning the seat back into his space. "I can't just leave him. Not after what I did." Harry made his way over to Draco, seated on the wet grass. He sat down next to him really closely, so closely he could feel his warm breath from the freezing weather. The rain started to clear up into smaller raindrops and lighter, so you didn't have to shout as you speak. Harry and Draco sat in silence, watching each other. Reflections ripples from the few raindrops dripping down. They never realized that they were actually watching each other's reflections until Harry looked at Draco. Draco jumped in realization that he'd just been watching Harry Potter's reflection for the past 10 to 15 minutes. The Slytherin awkwardly... lost my place right when I was reading it. Awkwardly turned his head to the opposite direction to cause no type of eye contact with the Gryffindor. Harry noticed he had made him uncomfortable and turned to face the other way. He didn't know how long he was going to be there for, but didn't ask. Harry was getting colder and colder and ended up snuggling into Draco for warmth. Draco froze and tensed by Harry snuggling into him. He looked down at the smaller boy, staring at him, shocked until the brunette noticed what he was doing. I'm sorry, I was just cold," Harry said, shivering shivering and backing away from Draco. Draco smiled weakly and wrapped his arms around Draco's waist and pulled him closer to his chest. Harry smiled at Draco's touch and put his hand on his chest, while his head leaning on his shoulder. The two created a warm sensation between themselves. They sunk into each other's embrace and had, in fact, almost fell asleep on one another. What's the time?" Harry said, looking up at Draco without moving his head. Tempo?" Draco shouted, getting his wand with a flash of orange light. 3:27. Draco said, getting to his feet. Harry stood up, shaking all the muck off him and shivering from being removed from the warmth. "We should head back now." Draco spoke softly and started walking to the castle and followed by Harry. Yeah, Harry said side by side with Draco. Halloween! Author's note. I'm doing okay. How long has this... Oh my goodness. It's almost 2 hours long. I hope you guys are happy. Halloween. Author's notice. I'm doing a huge time skip to Halloween because I don't want to drag and get boring. I'm trying to not go over 25 parts. Also, Ron is Harry's friend. Well, duh. And isn't very friendly to Draco, but tries his best. Well, no shit. Okay. Harry and Draco have been doing dance practice every Monday unless canceled, but because Miss McGonagall has to run for errands. Okay. Hermione is supportive, and Harry is still yet to break up with Ginny. Well, technically, it wasn't consensual. Anyways, October 31st. Halloween, thought Harry. Today's the day. I'm gonna break up with her. I'm gonna do it. Harry stood up in the mirror, watching his reflection. I've got no lessons, so there isn't an excuse. Harry stood up and changed his Gryffindor pajama pants into a white t-shirt, black skinny jeans, and black leather jacket. I like the jacket part, do not like the white part because I am a messy bitch. That's all you need to know about me. I'm a messy bitch. And walked out of the boys' dorm and into the common room where Ron and Hermione were awaiting him. Took you long enough, Ron said, laughing. Hermione shook her head and smiled lightly. Let's go. But Ron, I've got to tell you something, Harry said, making his way out of the common room portrait. What's up, mate? Ron said with his smile dropping slowly. Well, as you know, I've been dating your sister, Harry said cautiously, while flicking across the ginger's face. Yeah, I'm well aware you have been dating, Ron said, crossing his arms, slowing down a bit. I'm gonna leave you two. This may be a bit private. You can always tell me later, Hermione called, motioning to Padma and Parvati. Is it Parvati? Parvati. Parvati. Okay. Patil. Isn't that the two twins? Yes, the twins. Oh, bye. See ya, the boys called simultaneously as Hermione walked over to the twins. I need to read more ahead. What's wrong? So, what's up? Sorry, I don't know why I read that like that. So, what's up? Ron called again as he carried on walking. Well, I just don't think that we were, I don't think that we're, Harry was trying to, tripping over his words. Take your time, said to Ron jokingly. I don't think that Ginny and I are working out, Harry said quickly. Ron didn't hear any of it and stopped, looking confused. Sorry, mate. Didn't catch that, Ron said, sighing, thinking he knew what he said. I don't think Ginny and I are working out, Harry said, slowly taking precautions. Ron turned to Harry to face him and looked shocked. Wait, are you for real? Ron asked, raising an eyebrow in astonishment. Well, yeah. Harry put his hand around his neck, scratching it. Oh my gosh, no! Stop doing this. Okay. Scratching it, showing nervousness. I mean, it's your life. It's your decision on who you want to be with. I won't judge who you love, whatever gender. You're my best friend. I don't care who you love. Well, he probably cares that he does love or that who he loves, but like in a nice way, like he doesn't want to be possessive over him. I understand that. Ron said with a genuine smile on his face, patting him on the shoulder. Harry hugged him tightly before letting go. Thanks, Ron, Harry said, smiling back, and I'm sorry, another Harry Potter game. and continuing their walk on to the Great Hall to have breakfast. Could you be there when I tell her? She's kind of scary when we talk about relationship problems, he said worriedly. I mean, of course, she is my sister, so we probably both get that from Mum. Yes. Definitely. Friggin' A. I love the mom. It's, I think Judy Walters. I know the last name's Walters. I can't think of the first name. Ron said, chuckling, as they were just about to enter the Great Hall. Harry was pulled into a kiss. Harry pushed the ginger girl off him, wiping his lips. Baby, what's wrong? Oh, shit. Ginny said, putting her arms around his neck. He pushed her arms off him and stepped back. Ginny looked at him in anger and confusion. I'm sorry, Ginny, I can't do this. I don't like you, Harry said. Ginny looked furious, as if she were about to kill him. You don't what? Of course you like me. Oh, you're just confused, Ginny shouted, stomping her feet and crossing her arms. Before anything else could be said, Ron stepped in front of Harry and said, Gin, it's not meant to be. Leave it, and don't cause a scene, Ron said, looking around to see staring students from all houses. Ginny stormed off into the direction that they had just came from. Thanks, mate, Harry said, patting him on the back. Don't mention it, Ron said, walking into the Great Hall, away from all the stairs, before stopping again by Draco Malfoy. Hiya, Harry, Draco called as he was making his way out of the Great Hall. Oh, hi, Draco, Harry said, smiling as though he had just forgot what happened 5 seconds ago. Malfoy, said Ron, keeping a forced friendly smile, but smiling weakly. Oh, hi, Ron, Draco said before going off again. Wait, Draco, we have dance practice tomorrow, right? Harry asked, catching Draco's wrist. Oh, I thought he was like, come here, girl. That would be so fucking awkward, my dude. Ew. Draco's wrist. Most likely, unless it's canceled again, Draco replied, looking at where Harry had held his wrist. All right, see you then. See you around then, Harry said, letting go of him and walking away. Draco stood there, holding his wrist where Harry had been holding it, with a trancy look on his face. Trancy. I'm a trancy. I Louise Trancy. You know what? I want to do that cosplay so fucking bad, but I need to be, like, so pale. And I'm not pale. Harry said, let go. What was that about? Pansy said, called from behind Draco, which made him jump. Jeez, I'm crow, Parkinson, Draco said angrily. Okay, well, I'm hungry. Bye, Dre, Pansy said, marching towards the Slytherin table. Draco continued his walk to the Black Lake, getting shoves on the shoulder, getting called names such as gay, faggot, Potter lover. Huh. I'm a Potter lover. Do you want to be a Potter lover too? Yes, bitch. What the fuck? Blood traitor. How is that a blood traitor? Harry's a full blood, isn't he? And insults such as, "Where's your boyfriend? Off to see your boyfriend? Women are good for you, huh?" No, because they're annoying and they're psycho bitches. Sorry, I dated a woman who was a psycho. Well, let's not call her a woman. Let's just call her a fucking demon. I'm sorry. That's just rude. You're just such a sexist. What? Oh my gosh. Girl, you are sexist. They don't know what sexist means. That means he would not be, like, he hates all girls. That means, like, anything. That means, like, talking to Granger or Parkinson's or anyone like Millie or anything like that. Sexist is... Why do people throw out words they don't understand? It hurts. Just mentally, because you just know that they're fucking stupid. Okay. Called a random girl from Gryffindor as she shoved past Draco. Now I've heard it all. Yeah, you've heard all the stupid ones. Draco continued his walk, ignoring all the vile comments as he passed haters in the corridors. Later that day, there were scary pranks from Fred, George, and Peeves. The protagonist was roaming around the castle, and at every chance he saw, he took to make some mischief to frighten the first years, and sing spooky songs to students to scare them. Harry spent most of Halloween in the Great Hall, talking to all his friends. Draco, however, was sat down at the Black Lake practicing piano. Once the clock struck 9 o'clock, Harry asked if any of his friends would want to go to Hogsmeade for the night, since they have been given permission by Dumbledore to stay outside until 12 o'clock. Until 12 o'clock. Ron, Neville, Parvati, Padma, sorry, I don't want to say them wrong, I just want to sound them out, Seamus, Dean, and after a lot of persuading, Hermione decided to come. They all left the Great Hall and headed to the carriages to where Hogsmeade is. Draco, on the other hand, didn't see what the huge deal was. He had never celebrated Halloween. His parents didn't really celebrate holidays. They thought of it as a Muggle creation. It's getting kind of late. I should probably get going. Draco thought as he rose from his stool, flicked his wand, the piano folded away, the blonde made his way through the fog and creepy noises back to the castle, ignoring all the noises from the tricksters. Once he got to the castle, where he ran into, but who no other would he run into but the Golden Boy again. Draco, we're off to Hogsmeade. Can you join? Harry asked politely. Draco looked at the others' faces, which read, "What? Why? No, please say no," and realized he wasn't wanted, but didn't want to go in the first place if there was that many Gryffindors. No thanks. I'm actually doing something, Draco said, backing away. He would love to go, said Pansy. I have friends like this that volunteer me to do shit. I still love them to death, but I understand what Parkinson is doing. But I don't like what my friends do. Because they want me to get out, and they're like, we know that you're a couch potato. And I'm like, but this potato wants a couch. So back off. Let me have my couch. Okay, I don't know what. Oh, that. Drop my phone. Okay. Placed an arm around Draco's shoulder with Millie, Blaze, Pike, and Tracy. Oh, Tracy. Fuck, Tracy. I don't know why her name sounds so familiar. No, I really wouldn't, Draco said, shoving into Pansy to tell her to go away, but stayed put. Yes, you would. You would. Yes, he would, Potter. He's just too afraid to say, if you don't mind us Slytherins tagging along, Pansy asked, looking at the amount of Gryffindors. Well, I'm sure we don't mind, Harry said, looking at his friend's expressions. But were, as usual, read as, "Really? No way." But Harry ignored them. "As much as I would love to come, I simply can't. You see, I don't do Easter, birthdays, Halloween, or Christmas, so goodbye." Draco made his way back to his common room with his hand on his head, covering his face from everyone. Harry's face dropped in sorrow. Draco doesn't celebrate holidays? "Guys, I'm not feeling so well. You go on without me," Harry said, and left in the direction where Draco had just went. "Fuck this, I'm going to bed," said Blaze as he power walked to his common room and followed by Pansy and their crew. Blaze, my hero. You know what? I would love to date Blaze. Blaze is fucking hilarious. Shit. Do. Please shoot me in the fucking head. What? Oh. That's all she wrote. Haha, sorry I haven't ACC written in a while. I wrote this chapter like October. I guess it's because I have stopped watching some Harry Potter. Instead, I've been watching way too much anime. Same, girl. I'm watching Sailor Moon right now. Don't ask why. I want to annoy my mother with the theme song. She hates Sailor Moon. I don't think I got around to finishing this chapter. I've kind of forgotten about my story. I've forgotten what my story was about. Also, I've got, GCSEs and revision and CBAs to write. Sorry, I wasn't expecting people around. People would ACC like my content. Actually, like your content. Why not? Draco ran to his common room stressfully. He said the password and entered before entering the portrait, but without realizing that someone else was following him. The portrait closed and started having an aggressive argument. What's with all the racket? Draco thought as he opened the portrait to tell whoever was there to open the damn door yourself, you half-blood. But no, it wasn't a Slytherin. No wonder why he couldn't open the door. Harry? Draco, are you okay? Harry asked, rubbing the back of his neck. You sort of ran off. And I was wondering... No, I'm not going to Hogsmeade with you. Draco replied sternly, turning his head away to face the wall. Actually, I was going to ask if you wanted some company, Harry said, turning a light shade of pink of embarrassment. Draco turned his whole body around to have his back to the other boy, contemplating. No, I think I will going to bed now, Draco said, turning to the door. All right, well, see you tomorrow then, Harry said, with a forceful smile. Yeah, Draco said, his head hanging shamefully that he'd just said that. The door shut on Harry as he stood there, still processing what happened. He turned and started walking the other direction. Please help me. I have too many ads, and I don't have enough money. Oh but it didn't end up well. Why? No! What kind of bullshit is this? I'm sorry to inform you that's all she wrote. Thank you guys for watching. I know it's kind of a bummer that it ended up this way. But hey, you want to know what? Thank you guys for watching. You guys were amazing, and I absolutely love your suggestions. I wanted to finish this one because it was really interesting, and I don't think this is entirely finished yet because they did, I don't know who their gender is, sorry, but they did say that, well, it did say that it was made in July 17th, 2020, so they could not be done yet, so this is supposed to have fluff in it. Sure. Well, okay, guys. I know that's a bunch of horseshit. But thank you guys for watching. You guys are amazing people, and I absolutely love you. Thank you to everyone that is still listening after 2 hours of this. I hope you really like a long one. This is a long one. I don't know why. I wanted to finish it because I thought it was gonna have a good ending, and I'm sorry if it didn't please you. But be happy, be healthy, and always be loving. I love you all. I feel like I'm gonna die now. It's 11:19 right now, and I'm probably gonna post this right on November 2nd. I know, Mother. So, I will. Shh. So I'm gonna. That's what my mother in the background. Yes, that's my mother. And then I will just not be able to do anything on the 3rd. Maybe I'll take a couple of videos and say hi. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so much.